Good morning. So it is Sunday and I'm having my morning dressing gown time, which is where I get up, have like an hour or so doing some stuff that I want to get done before the day starts, before kids get up. Hopefully they have a lie-in. So I'm not sure who will be up at this time, but I just wanted to jump on and talk about something that happened yesterday, and which is to do with a chat I had with one of the ladies who went from saying, I am failing miserably, to almost like an I can attitude. So she was struggling to fit exercise into her routine. Like, you know, you've only got to look at all the workouts out there right now. There's so many to choose from. It's quite overwhelming. Some are really long, some are really like kind of jumpy up and down. And even with our workouts, we have loads of different choices, from 10-minute ones to real gentle ones, so they're not kind of ramming your joints or anything like that. Really broken down so you know that you're doing them safely, effectively, you're feeling the muscle. Morning, Angela. And even with that though, sometimes it can be hard to motivate yourself just to set it up. Like, you know, look at a computer screen, whatever. And she felt like she should have been doing more. And when you get into that kind of mindset, it can be very easy to start just putting yourself down. So what we did is we just came up with a bit of a really simple solution. This is where it's so important to know that, you know, just because you're not doing all these workouts that other people might be doing. Yeah, I just did a workout, my 5K. I'm still owed 2 5Ks right now, and I'm still not got it in yet. But anyway, I will get onto that. In that, when you just have a conversation with someone, I think this is so important. So something that we're big on in our program as well is just actually having a human conversation and getting some clarity with the situation. So she's working a lot, long hours, lots of days. So we said, okay, let's set you a challenge. How about you do a 2-minute workout and you've got to get it done in the next 24 hours. So we set it up, 2 minutes, let's go. So bear in mind, at this stage, she's failing miserably, even though her weight's coming down, which is her goal, not important for everyone. Control of her food, but the exercise, she's focusing on that, in that she's not doing it. So it's kind of like frustrating her, right? So bear in mind there. 2 hours later, she messaged me back, did the workout, here was my score. So we did a little bit of a, like, gamified it and done it within 2 hours. Thank you, I did it. Going from a I'm failing miserably to an I can. 2 minutes. 2 minutes of movement. And I want to bring that up because, you know, it's no secret that during this time, and it's hard, like we're struggling with routine, a lot of us. It's important not to beat yourself up for it. You know, myself included, got into some bad habits, like not really having too much of a cut-off point sometimes with work. Sometimes I just keep going because it's almost just, you know, we're just always connected, right? Which is great. Technology, without it right now, I wouldn't be doing this. And a lot of people wouldn't be communicating, which wouldn't be good, of course. But everyone's picking up, like maybe eating more, drinking more, snacking more. You know, even the other night, we were watching Tiger King. If you haven't watched that, definitely worth a watch for a laugh and just to make yourself feel a bit more normal. It definitely made me feel normal anyway. Morning, Sue. Morning, Gillian. So Jen come in, Mrs. Frucci comes in, chocolate bar, gives me it, and I'm like, eating it, just finding myself just watching TV, and I'm like, right, I need to move that away. So I just literally slid it across the living room. So I had a little bit with me because I'd have just eaten it all. It's like that mindless thing. It doesn't help that Easter was in the middle of it, right? Lockdown. But my point is that the more this goes on in terms of not finding routine, the harder it will be when things come back to normal. And this isn't for everyone. I think, you know, you've got some people saying don't do anything, you know, don't beat yourself up, which is great. But then you've got other people going, you know, I should be doing a skill, should be doing this. And it's fine to just be a bit in the middle and go, you know what, I don't want to do nothing. I don't want to do everything. I'm going to do one thing and just focus on something that makes you feel better. Because like I said, that 2-minute workout that one of the ladies did, the result of that, felt more proud of herself doing it, went from I'm failing miserably to I can, felt great for the rest of the day. It's going to help you sleep, going to help her burn more calories. Actually, if it makes you feel better, it might help with snacking. More on that in a second. You're laying down the groundwork for when things go back to normal. In fact, I think this is such an important time because a lot of the ladies, when we have sessions, we do have sessions online all the time, but obviously we have sessions in person. Hey, Tanya. And sometimes some of the ladies, when they start, of course, they're a bit like, I'm not sure if I'm fit enough, etc. Can I try your online workouts first? And then what a great time to do it now, so that, when things get started again, you can maybe go out and do something that you never had the confidence to do. And that's where our Back to Basics workouts come in, actually. Plus, you throw on top of that, every researcher, I posted yesterday about that Professor Ferguson from Imperial College London, talking about exercise, talking about fitness, lungs, fat loss, all these things, and how important they are for our mental health, physical health at this time. So I wanted to share that. And on that note, this kind of ties in nicely with like the snacking and a few things you can do to take control of that. So first and foremost, I just want you to know that sleep, if you're lacking in sleep, then you've got to consider, and just when you accept this, sometimes it puts you in control. You will perceive foods as more rewarding than they actually are. So it's important. I always kind of mention this, but I think you can never hear it enough times. So if you're a bit tired and stressed, just know that, right, I am going to perceive that food as more rewarding to me than it actually is. So if I do eat it now, it's not going to be as rewarding as I think it is. When you actually just tell yourself that, sometimes you can go, yeah, I'm going to want it, but it doesn't actually mean it's going to fill the gap. Then you can ask the question, what would satisfy me instead? What would satisfy me instead right now? Probably a nap. Something that I've just set a goal on, I'm actually going to go through this week, to actually lay down, meditate. I've got an Accu mat, whether that works or not, I don't know. But it forces me to lay down and just take 1 minute, 10 minutes for me. Maybe I just need to do that. Maybe I need to just slow down. And just consider that's kind of something that ties straight in with when we call ourselves, I have no willpower, stuff like that. Actually, are we just seeking a nap, some sleep? Are we tired? Are we perceiving these foods as more rewarding and listening to our body too much, maybe? Or listening to a certain cue? Because if you feel your feelings, how am I actually feeling right now? Tired. What would you tell a friend to do who came up to you who said they were tired? I'd tell them to go to sleep, have a nap. But I feel guilty about doing it, right? I feel guilty about having a nap, but then I feel guilty about eating anyway. So you might as well choose the guilty feeling that you want to feel, and it might as well be one that aligns with your goals and where you want to be. Is that making sense? More down the nutritional route here, that's kind of more like psychological, doing something good for you. Physiological side, you can definitely make differences with the nutrition. Okay, so if you're grazing quite a lot at the moment, not having meals, that could impact it, because when you're grazing, you're generally eating lower protein foods, generally eating higher sugar, higher fat foods, which are highly calorific, low nutrient density, so they don't provide you with a lot of nutrients. It gives your body what it needs to say, I'm full up. 2 foods in particular isn't going to surprise you what I say. Protein is going to help keep you full up quicker and for longer. So these have an impact on our satiety levels faster to tell us that, I've had enough, I've got some food. It's kind of impossible to overeat on protein. Not saying try, but it's incredibly filling. Beans, meats, eggs, stuff like that, lentils. Throw in fibre on top of that, lots of vegetables, fruits, good for your gut health. When you look at that, they solve that physiological need that will make you go, yeah, I'm good. I'm full up. And then the good thing about that is you can then, if you tick that box, plus water as well, throw that in there. If you tick that box, then it's a game of kind of psychology a little bit. Are you now restricting and depriving yourself of the thing that you actually want, which I wouldn't recommend, because then that's all you want. So how about you wake up in the morning, I'm going to hit my physiological need, make sure I get my nutrition in, not just for snacking, but because I want more energy, because I want to sleep better. I want to have more motivation. I want to be feeling more vibrant. I want to be in control of my day. I don't want to be feeling sluggish and slouchy. I want my joints to feel better. It could be anything reason. You've got to kind of find your leverage with this, because there's no such thing as really lack of motivation, just lack of leverage in terms of you're not looking at what outcome you're actually after. Because then you can look at, okay, today I'm going to give myself permission to have a slice of the cake that I've been baking more. I'm going to have a slice of that cake for my snack. Done. If you don't want it, then give yourself permission not to have it. If you do want it, give yourself permission to have it. Done. You've got clarity, rather than going, I'm going to be really good, I'm not going to have anything. Then you're just kind of going into the war zone, the kitchen, with your fingers crossed, hoping that it won't be good. Then you have one thing, and then it's a bit like, when actually, when you look at the reality, you look at the calories of it, it might have been like 300 odd calories, which is the same as an apple, maybe 2 apples and a banana. Notice your thoughts about having that compared to that. Is that making sense? That was a bit of a ramble, but thought I'd share it on my Sunday morning dressing gown ramble. So, I hope that helped. Let me know if you took anything from that, as sometimes I have no idea if these are helpful or not. But all as I'm doing is reinforcing what the research says and reinforcing what works with people that I work with and for myself. And given that I wouldn't actually recommend doing anything that wasn't research-based or that I actually do myself, because here's a really interesting point. I never really touch on this. There's some of the most simple advice ever. Some of the most simple advice ever is really hard to stick to. Like keeping a glass of water within arm's reach. Like making sure you only eat while seated. Like not eating out of packets and only eating out of crockery. Things like that sound really simple, and like eating 5 a day. They're really cliche, really simple. Yet when you actually try and do them, they're hard to do. And one of the reasons for that is sometimes that they're so cliche that they just kind of don't have any leverage. Oh yeah, I know I need to eat 5 a day. I know I need to exercise. They don't have any kind of cliche. But when you actually try and do them, even for a day, just try today. Only eat while you're sat down. Only eat out of crockery. So you can eat packet stuff, just put it in the crockery. And have a drink, water. So I'm not even doing it now. I've only got my coffee. I have drank water today. Try and have a glass of water within arm's reach. There's some tasks for you today to think about. Rewatch it if you need to, because I've rambled on. Take one thing from it. Important. Take one thing from this and apply it. Don't try and apply it all. Take one thing. So you could say, today, there's going to be a water bottle within arm's reach. Today, I'm only going to eat while sat down. Done. Morning, Gillian. So, I hope that helps. Have a great Sunday. And hopefully, I've got a little bit longer in my Sunday morning time. And the kids have a lie-in. So, speak soon. Take care.